Received an email, Mr. Yaden.
My name is Jim Yaden.
Yaden, okay. Mr. Yaden sent me an email last week talking about issues of semis getting on our county roads. It really, I think, has to do a lot with the GPS situation. SDI's address is 20-something hundred north, 800 east. Is that right?
Basically, SDI, they have a marshalling yard on County Line Road, or 800 East. The closest address I could find was 2630 South, 800 East. And my farm, I own two pieces of property on 800 South, which is one is 2668 East, 800 South, and the other one is 2752 East, 800 South. And basically, it's almost the same address as the marshalling yard. And it's caused by the GPS, and basically, I would say 90% of the drivers that do stop and ask for information how to get to SDI or that are Armenian or foreign countries and this and that, so they really don't understand the language that well to differentiate between east and south and stuff like that. And we also have another issue on another road in the same area, which is 2601 East 700 South, and that's basically the corporate office address to Steel Dynamics. So when the driver gets lost, he goes on the internet, he looks for address for Steel Dynamics, it comes up to 2601, which it puts it on Lynn Heinbaugh's property, which there's issues there too. There's a United States geological benchmark in the ground, and they run the rear tires over that, and then he also has a guy wire telephone pole right there that supports his grain elevator and everything else like that. And what they're doing is they're making a right-hand turn with a trailer, right-hand turn, cuts corners, and he resorted to, there used to be a railroad iron, and they're almost impossible to break, and they did it so many times that they snapped it off. So he replaced it with rocks, which could be another issue. So what we're asking is, what I came here to ask for is help. Any ideas what we can do? We got the semi-trucks driving through Lod with the little kids running through there. I've had as many as 6 bumper to bumper in front of my property trying to find SDI. I've tried to deliver 3,500 gallons of off-road diesel fuel. You know, and I basically help them unless they have an attitude, and then I kind of give them a route that's not so fun. But it's just one of those deals. Is most of them, 99% of them are good people trying to find SDI. I'm a good person. I bought this property. It's my retirement property. But one of the things I really have an issue with is I didn't buy it to retire there, to have to put a sign up in my front flower bed that says this is not SDI. But it's the only way I can resort to keep them. They don't stop anymore. But basically I have this with 2 pink flamingos, and all my neighbors want to know why I first put it up. But once I did that, the trucks didn't stop, they moved on, and everything else like that. If they stop at the corner, I'll go get my Polaris Ranger, go down and tell them how to get there. I mean, there's just people trying to do their jobs. They're contractors, basically, who've been delegated by SDI to come pick up a load. You know, they go on the internet, and these guys get this address. But the addresses are so close together, the confusion is there, and all I'm asking for is maybe somebody here, Sheriff's Department, or anybody else has, you know, Highway Department, County Department, has an idea what we can do. There is a sign that's been placed on 700 East. It's a gravel road, and somebody's made, I don't think it was a state-issued sign, but they made a sign, SDI used 800 East, you know, SDI drivers.
I believe we did that.
And it's something, my concern are the children, and the most important part, their turnover roads. I've owned this property for 13 years on 800 South. It's right next to Arden Schrader's property. The house right next to it used to be a meth house. I got it cleaned up, got rid of the meth house, and I'm spending my time, my energy every weekend trying to get this place to look nice. And I also want nice roads to drive to my farm. They drive up my lane, up to my barn, and turn around. There is no semi-turnaround up there. You know, once I put the sign up, they stopped doing it. They did it 3 times until I put the sign up. That stopped it. But all we're asking is for help, because Lynn's tired of messing with rocks and stuff like that, messing with these people. And if we could put some signs like coming up 9, going SDI to 14, or signs that go from 9 and 14 SDI to 800 East, you know, something like that. But I don't know if it's possible. I don't know what, if it's, I'm sure there's no budget money for it, but it has to be cheaper than fixing the roads. You know, I mean, the little section between Raber Road and 900 has more potholes this year than it ever has, and I've been there all these years, and it's just, I mean, before long, you're gonna have to redo that section. And it's because of the usage, I mean, the farm usage. I'm not, you know, I'm not here to, I want the farmers to get the grain to market. I'm not complaining about SDI's trucks. All I'm asking for is somebody to help us, you know, if we can get some help and some ideas.
Okay, so I asked him to attend and bring that forward. At the same time, I talked to Mr. Reese Evans. There you go, sir. This is a very nice gentleman. Oh, let me tell you right now, it was a very nice conversation. It's very obvious, and this is the part that scares me. We can put up 1,000,000 signs, okay? We can put up signs till you see signs, but it's very obvious as a person who's used, as a paramedic, I've used the address system for years, okay? If they put the wrong address in their GPS, we can't do anything for
No,
them. And that seems to be the problem. They're putting 800 south, they want 800 east. That I doubt if we change, but I thought, go ahead, sir. You had some very good explanations and stuff.
There's a couple of issues with the GPS. If you're coming from the southwest and you put in 700 or 800, it's going to bring you up the wrong way. We get that now with our vendors, with our customers who are coming up from I-69 from the southeast. We'll bring them up 700, which is closed at our gate. The GPS, when you buy a GPS, it basically comes as a package. You can buy an update, which costs about the same as a GPS on an annual basis. Nobody upgrades it.
Yeah.
My GPS still shows Yellow River Road running through our plant site. It hasn't existed there for 15 years now. So that's part of the issue. There are some things we can do. The signage will certainly help. I'll work with the commissioners. I think we can draft some directions or a letter that I can send to my customers and my vendors, giving them directions. I do have a number of vehicles or routes that trucks come to me. I do subcontract through brokers.
Right.
That doesn't always get communicated.
Right.
I have customers who run their own trucks. I don't know if you're having problems with scrap. They tend to be more a smaller group who doesn't change. But we can draft some words. I'll work with you, maybe with the Sheriff's Department as well. We can come up with the proper directions and wording that we can circulate to not only our customers, our contract drivers, and our brokers. And hopefully that'll help, again, with some additional signage.
That's awesome.
So my thoughts were, all we can do today is start a dialogue and try to work, but I did feel like the county highway, the sheriff's department, you know, SDI, the citizens, I thought we all probably ought to be in the same room when we discuss these things, just to get started, just as a starting point, because I don't think there's an easy answer to it. I doubt if we have an ordinance that keeps those semis off of our roads, do we, Michael? I mean, is there anything the sheriff's department could even enforce?
No.
Yeah. So
I don't think so, at least not in the last few years. There's
Yeah.
not. There was something prior to that maybe, but probably not.
Okay. So I think what I would like to suggest is I'd like to spend a little more time with Mr. Yaden and Mr. Heinbaugh. Is he here too? Okay. I'd like to spend time with these guys so I can actually sit down with a map and kind of work with this. And we want lots of pictures if that's not an issue. The actual trucks.
Yeah, better pictures.
Yeah, because I think I
Yeah.
told somebody, I had a problem in Coessie and they got a nice picture of the side of the truck and I just
Driving
called the
by.
dispatcher and we haven't had that truck going through Coessie again. So it's gonna take some work, you know, maybe on my part to help here too, but is that okay if we get this dialogue started in and
It's the beginning. I mean,
yeah,
Earth wasn't
Yeah.
created overnight, and
Yeah.
life isn't for winning.
Yeah, and I very much appreciate SDI really has been wonderful at this point, and they tell these guys, because I found it interesting, your trucks coming in, there's a makeup of scrap and flatbeds, and then you also kind of had a percentage of what you could control and some you can't.
Right, the scrap trucks, they're pretty much contracted. We know who we're purchasing the scrap from, so we can give directions to those. The common carriers, the flatbeds you see with our finished goods going out, they basically come to me by a couple different routes. I have a dispatcher who goes out and we'll broker the trucks ourselves. We'll contract with drivers, owners directly, with large carriers. We deal with brokers as well, and I have customers who bring in their own trucks or may contract with other common carriers to bring in trucks. The problem with the brokers, they basically, and I'm going to use an incorrect term here, forgive me, they basically will go with gypsy drivers. Whoever's in the area, they may grab.
Right.
Okay? They do have I do have regular drivers that come in. They're probably 25% of my population that come in the plant. And in plant, we are also dealing with new drivers all the time. That brings a whole set of circumstances and issues with them as well. But getting the information to the brokers is, I think, the first step. They can pass it on. Again, we can pass the information on. I can't make sure that the drivers abide by it.
Right.
But, you know, if we add some signage, maybe that'll help.
If we reduce the numbers to half or less, I mean, one or two, but you know, I'm averaging 2 to 4 a day.
Yeah, that's
I
too
mean,
many.
And it's, some days it varies, but it's like I said, that one day there were 6 flatbeds, nose to butt, in front of my property trying to get the address. And, you know, I go down there and drive down there and tell them, you just need to go that way. And I basically tell them to go down to Jefferson Township to go to 500 because that's where the largest corner is for the truck to make a left-hand turn, to go that way, to go to 14 and then go down the county line and turn. I'm from Allen County, so I call it county lines today. So I tell them to go down there and turn left, go to the stoplight, turn left, that's what I tell them. So, you know, I'm just concerned when they stop on the side of the road, a lot of times they don't turn the flashers on. I'm concerned somebody going down the road, they're narrow roads. They do have a tendency to drive on people's ditches and stuff like that, but they're lost, and I understand that. I'm a real person, I live in a real world. All I'm asking is maybe somebody can come up with an idea to help us get there. I think we've gone a long ways today myself, and I appreciate everybody's time for
I would like to
taking
come
listen
down
this.
and visit at your place and Mr. Heinbaugh's place so I can physically see these things, and so
You're more than welcome
I'll
to do
get
that.
back together with you and we'll try to set up a time, okay?
I'd be more
And,
more than welcome. You're welcome too, just to kind of see
Yeah,
an
that'd
idea.
be helpful to know where you are, so we
Right.
know when we go for signage, where the appropriate
Right.
locations would be.
That's what I was thinking about too.
I mean, I can make copies of all these and send it to you and go from there. I got one of my cards there too, so. But
All right.
thank you guys
I
very
will
much for
get
your
back
time.
with you.
And I hope we can get this worked out.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I was hoping we could just start this
Right.
dialogue and
And thank everybody else for being here for
Yeah.
this, because we're
Okay.
just trying to go on with life.
okay, and just to add on to your issue, we were actually talking about, you want to tell them about the backup you have out there? I'm not sure, that's not the right terminology, but.
Yeah, there's a number of issues that I've actually been working with the county engineer, and we have some proposals coming here shortly. One of the issues we're dealing with is actually on 800. Originally, when we were building the plant, the county did do extensive work on 800 south of US 30 to get us to our plant entrance, our truck scale. A turn lane was put in there southbound on the right-hand side to basically bring trucks in. We had issues early on with trucks backing up across the Dana driveway. We now own that Dana facility, so that's not so much an issue for us. But what has happened is our volume has increased. Largely as the downturn in the market occurred in 2008, a lot of our customers changed from rail modes of shipment to just-in-time truck modes of shipment. So my truck volume has increased dramatically. So what we've been forced to do to keep the trucks off the road, I've had stops in occasionally by the sheriff. I don't recognize these gentlemen, but I know traffic enforcement and law enforcement stopped in a couple of times complaining about trucks backed up to US 30, even around the corner onto US 30. We've opened up a temporary lot just south of our scales. It used to be a contractor's parking lot. I've taken half of that as basically a truck corral. My volume with inbound flatbeds and scrap trucks is to the point that that lot is now overflowing. We're looking at some other issues, And I do have occasion of trucks still backing up onto 800 County Line Road. When Mr. Amber called me, I actually went out that afternoon after we spoke, and there was a regular 3 trucks backed up waiting to get in that second entrance, as one would move in, another one would come up in line. So we have an independent engineering firm right now doing some surveying for us. We'll be presenting the county with a proposal to put a turn lane into that second lot, which will help relieve that congestion. There are some public safety issues there. Obviously, it's a 1-lane road either way. As I was taking photographs and videotaping, you could see people not slowing down and trying to pass these essentially parked trucks on the road. I'm concerned about it, and I'd like to move forward on this as we are doing. Like I said, we're working on the engineering study right now, and we'll come to the commission with a proposal.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
So thank you for discussing that, because it just happened that something came up this morning
Okay.
in a previous meeting, so I wanted to get back to that, so.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody, for your time, and I don't think I have the answer, but maybe together we'll all work on the answers for it. Thank you.